Together, we have explored one of the most widely used tools in management and organizational development. The McKinsey 7S framework was developed in late 1970s by consultant at McKinsey's and Company. It is designed to help organizations understand how key internal elements work together to drive success. The model focuses on seven interconnected components: strategy, structure, system, shared value, skills, style, and staff. These are categorized into hard and soft elements. In this video, we'll break down each of 7S and show you how they are applied in real world scenarios. Let's get started.
My name is Tinku Meena. I am from Jaipur, Rajasthan. I am editor this team.
I am Anurag Singh Raj from Korba, Chhattisgarh. I am video editor of our team.
My name is Arpit Yadav. I am from Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh. I manage all the department of this team and I am the negotiator of this team.
My name is Sarojini Singh. I am from Uttar Pradesh. I am the script writer of this team.
My name is Aditya Kumar. I am from Munger, Bihar. I am cameraman of this team.
My name is K. Srishant. I am from Korba, Chhattisgarh, and I handle camera and direction of this team.
The McKinsey 7S framework breaks down organization into 7 interconnected elements that must be aligned for success. These are divided into 2 types. First one is hard elements, which is easier to define and manage. These are more tangible. They can be seen on the organization chart, written in plans, or tracked in systems. Management has more direct control over these. Strategies, structure, systems. And second one is soft elements, which is harder to measure but just as important. These are intangible and based on culture, people, and relationships. They are shaped more by behavior than by formal rules. Shared values, style, staff, skills.
Let's talk about system. Let's go back to 2007. Netflix is thriving. Their DVD by mail business is a hit. You go online, choose a movie, and within a day or two, it's in your mailbox. No late fees, no driving to store. Customers love it, and yet something does not sit right with Reed Hastings, Netflix co-founder and CEO. While most of the world is still clinging to DVDs, Reed is watching the internet closely. Broadband is getting faster. YouTube is exploding. People are starting to expect entertainment on demand. Not in days, but in seconds. Most companies in Netflix position would stick with what's working while rock the boat. After all, they are growing, profitable, comfortable. But Reed Hastings knows what's working today might not work tomorrow. A bold strategy shift, so Netflix make a game-changing decision. They are going to pivot. They decide to move beyond DVDs and invest in something the industry still see as risky: streaming video. Now, this is not was just about launching a new feature. It was a full-blown strategy. Overall, it's meant challenging everything from what they offered to how they operated to who they were as a company. Their new strategic vision was clear and ambitious: to become the world leading entertainment platform. That was not just a line on a slide. It's became the guiding star for every decision they made moving forward, realigning the entire organization to bring the vision to life. Netflix had to realign everything. Technology systems had to build from scratch. They needed to stream videos at scales across millions of devices without buffering. They partnered with internet providers, invested in cloud infrastructure, and wrote algorithms to predict viewing behavior. Licensing models changed. Instead of buying DVDs, they had to negotiate streaming rights, complex deals that did not even exist in standard contract yet. Staffing and roles involved. They had software engineers, data scientists, user experience designer, and eventually filmmaker and content executive. Skills needed to be upgraded. People who had worked in logistics now need to think in terms of data, user engagement, and digital product development. Even company culture had to shift from a physical distribution company to a tech powered creative platform. This was not a slight project, it was an organization transformation rooted in strategy. A living strategy that involved with the market. Netflix did not stop evolving after launching streaming. They continued adapting the strategy as the market changed. When they saw the values of owning content, they began creating original series like House of Cards and Stranger Things. When global expansion became the next frontier, they tailored content from India, South Korea, Latin America, and beyond. When binge watching became a behavior, they released full season at once, shaking up the industry norms. Every move was guided by a clear strategic mindset. Give people the entertainment they want whenever they want it. The outcome today, Netflix is no longer just a streaming service. It's a global brand, a content studio, a tech leader, and a pop culture powerhouse. All of them become possible because of one power shift in strategy and the courage to act on it before the rest of the world caught up. Strategy is a long-term plan that helps a company reach its goals and stay ahead of the competition. It involves choosing the right priorities, deciding what to focus on, and adjusting as the world around you changes. A good strategy is like a map, it's guided when the company should go and how to get there. Strategy is not a mixed plan, written once and forgotten. It's a living vision that needs constant attention, courage, and creativity. Great companies do not wait for market to force them to change. They use strategy to lead the change.
So let's talk about structure. I will start it with an example of Google Alphabet reorg. So let's go back to 2015. Google, one of the world's most powerful tech giants, made a surprising announcement. It was reorganizing itself and forming a brand new parent company called Alphabet. At first, the news sounded odd. Google wasn't struggling, it was thriving. It dominated search, online ads, YouTube, and Android. So, why the big structural shakeup? The reason was this: Google had grown beyond Google. Over the years, the company had branched out in all kinds of ambitious new projects. They were just organizing the world's information anymore. They were building self-driving cars with Waymo, researching healthcare and life sciences through Verily and Calico, developing smart home devices like Nest, and launching moonshot ideas through a division called X. But all of these wildly different ventures were sitting under the same roof, Google, and that was creating friction. The original structure was great for running a search engine, but it wasn't built to manage an entire ecosystem of future focused businesses. There was too much going on in one place, too many projects competing for resources, attention, and leadership. That's when founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin made a bold move: Alphabet. Alphabet became the new parent company, while Google would operate as one of its subsidiaries focused on core product search, ads, YouTube, Android, and Maps. Meanwhile, the other moonshot ventures like Waymo, Verily, Calico, and X became their own companies with Alphabet, each with their own CEO and leadership team. This new structure gave every business more independence, more room to take risks, more uh, make them move faster and innovate on its own terms. But they all still align to share value and long-term goals at the Alphabet level. It was like turning a single building into a campus of companies, each with its own purpose but built on same foundation. But why structure matters in business? Structure means more than an org chart. It's about how a company is organized so that people can do their best work. A good structure defines responsibilities clearly, reduces confusion and overlap speeds up decisions makes room for both stability and innovation. Alphabet structure did exactly that. It allowed Google to keep doing what it did at best while freeing its experimental projects to explore the unknown. The big lesson: Alphabet didn't happen because Google was broken. It happened because Google had evolved and needed a structure that could evolve with it. The right structure doesn't limit innovation, it unleashes it. That's what makes this story so powerful. It shows that when companies grow, the structure that once served them might start to hold them back. And smart leaders know when it's time to rebuild, not just products, but the organization itself.
Let's explore systems from the McKinsey 7S framework using an Indian company example, Infosys. But first, what are systems in the 7S framework? System refers to the core process and procedure that guide daily operations, how work gets done. These can include performance evaluation, client onboarding, these quality assurance, internal communication and decision making workflows, and more. Now, let's see how Infosys, one of the biggest, largest IT sector services companies, leverages system to the drive excellence. Infosys has grown from a small IT firm in 1981 into a global technology powerhouse with clients in over 50 countries. While talent and strategy played a big role, their systems are what enable them to scale globally, maintain quality, and serve clients efficiently. First, global delivery model. One of Infosys' biggest innovation was the global delivery model, a system where work is divided between on-site, that is client location, and offshore, that is India or other delivery centers. Tasks are broken down, scheduled, and delivered from different time zones. A central project management system tracks deadlines, responsibilities, and deliverables. Why it matters. This system allows Infosys to deliver round the clock, reduce cost, and manage large complex projects efficiently. Second, Infosys NIA. AI powered internal system. Infosys developed Infosys NIA, an AI platform used to automate internal processes and client solutions. It streamlines repetitive tasks like payroll, HR queries, and IT support. It supports data-driven decision-making in real time. Why it matters? By systemizing operations through AI, Infosys increases system, reduces humans' error, and improves employee productivity. Third, learning and development system. Let's invest heavily in training and upskilling its workforce through Lex. Their cloud-based learning platform employees get personalized learning journeys. It tracks process, certificates, and aligns with project requirements. Why it matters. This system ensures Infosys maintain a future-ready workforce and adapts to fast-changing tech trends. Fourth, internal governance and quality system. Infosys follows stringent internal audit and project governance system. Their Infosys quality management system ensures every project meets client and legal standards. Tools like management system allow teams to reuse successful approaches across different projects. This system guarantees consistency, compliance, and client trust. Infosys system align perfectly with its strategy to be a global leader in digital services and consulting. Their system support scalability, cost efficiency, quality delivery, and innovation, making their strategy executable at a global level. Without robust system, would not have been able to deliver consistent performance across thousands of employees and clients worldwide. Infosys shows that in a service-driven industry, systems are the backbone of execution. From project delivery to employee learning, their well-integrated system turn visible into action, and that is the power of system in the McKinsey 7S model.
Now comes shared values, and you know me, I never leave any topic without a story. So let's talk about Patagonia's mission driven culture. This is a story about a company that sells jackets. Not just any jackets, Patagonia jackets. You have probably seen them, worn them, maybe you have even paid way too much for one. But here's what most people don't realize. Patagonia was never just about clothes. It was about the planet. Back in the 1970s, the company started small. Just a group of climbers making gear they wished existed. Nothing fancy. Just a functional stuff for people who lived outdoors. But the more time they spent in nature, the more they saw something terrifying. The glacier they climbed, shrinking. The forest they hiked through, disappearing. The places they loved, being destroyed. So they made a decision, the big one. They said they were not just here to sell stuff, we are in the business to save our home planet. And that one sentence changed everything. At Patagonia, that mission wasn't just painted on a wall and forgotten. It shaped the entire company from the inside out. Hiring, they looked for people who were passionate about the environment, not just businesses. If you didn't care about climate change, you probably didn't get the job. Their supply chain completely reimagined. They used organic cotton, tracked every fiber, and made sure that people seeing their product were treated fairly. They even told customers not to buy their clothes. Yeah, in 2011, they ran a full page ad that says, "Don't buy this jacket." But why? Because they wanted people to stop overconsuming, to repair what they own, to think before they bought. Who does that? Apparently, a company that means what it says. And in 2022, they doubled down again. Ivan Chernard, the founder, literally gave the company away. Not sold, gave. Ownership was handed over to a trust and a non-profit. Also, the company's profit could go directly to protecting the planet. No shareholders, no payday, just values. Now, in business strategy, there's this idea called shared value. Sounds boring, right? But Patagonia shows what it actually means. Shared values aren't the nice sounding words in a company handbook. They are the deep beliefs that guide everything from how you treat people, to how you make decisions, to what you are willing to sacrifice. At Patagonia, we are in business to save our home planet. Isn't a marketing line, it's the North Star. It guides the way, no matter how hard, no matter how costly. That's what real values do. And here's the thing, when your values are the real, you don't need to talk about culture. People feel it. They see it in your actions. They trust your intention. They believe in your mission. Because it's not something you're selling, it's something you're living. That's the lesson Patagonia teaches. When you build a company on values, you build something that lasts, something people respect, something people follow, something people believe in. And in a world full of noise, hype, and shared value aren't posters on wall. They are the soul of an organization. Shared values are the core beliefs and cultural principles that underpin the organization. They serve as the common thread that unifies employees, guiding behavior and decision making. By embedding these values into everyday practices, the organization can foster a strong, cohesive identity that drives strategic success.
Let's talk about style. In 2014, Microsoft was in trouble, not because it lacked resource or talent, but because it had become slow, divided, and internally competitive. Departments were working against each other instead of together. Innovation was stalling, morale was low. The company that once defined the future of technology was started to feel stuck in the past. That's when Satya Nadella stepped in as CEO. He didn't come in with dramatic speeches or sweeping changes. Instead, he started with something simple but powerful: empathy. Satya believed that before a company can change what it does, it has to change how it thinks, how it listens, and how it treats people, from employees to partners to customers. He led by example. He asked questions, not to challenge people, but to understand them. He encouraged managers to be curious, not controlling. He created an environment where learning was valued more than being right and collaboration became more important than competition. It wasn't overnight, but it worked. Team began to talk more, build together, and break down the walls between departments. The shift in the tone brought a shift in result. Microsoft launches a new product faster. Its cloud platform Azure grew rapidly. Developers began to trusting Microsoft again. Customers started seeing it as an forward-thinking, human-centered company, and most importantly, employees started believing in the company again. Under Nadella's leadership, Microsoft didn't just become a more profitable, it became more united, more innovative, and more respected. From a company with a rigid past, it transformed into one of the world's most valuable and admired business. True leadership isn't just about making decisions, it's about shaping behaviors. When a leader's style is grounded in empathy, humility, and trust, the whole culture begins to shift.
Tata Consulting Services, or TCS, is a name that resonates across the globe with over 6 lakh employees operation in more than 40 countries. It is one of India's proudest exports. But behind the impressive numbers lies a deeper story. How do you maintain your core values while growing at a global scale? This is where McKinsey's 7S frameworks comes in. It is a model that helps a business align with 7 critical elements, and one of the most important of them is staff. Now, staff isn't just about hiring people, it's about who you bring in and how you train them, how you grow them, and most importantly, whether they fit your company culture and missions. When TCS began expanding rapidly across the world, they had a strong strategy, system, and structure. But there was a one big question. Could they carry the unique Indian culture to the teams and thousands of miles away? The TCS made 3 powerful moves to ensure that the staff element strong and aligned. First, the global talent development. They launched initiatives like Matri, an internal cultural program that encouraged connection beyond the workspace. Whether you were in Chennai or Chicago, you felt a part of the TCS family. Second, leadership from within. Rather than hiring outsider for the key role, TCS chose to invest in their people. They trained and promoted employees who already lived and breathed in the TCS family. Third, integrated onboarding. New hires went through a process that was more about just product or platform. They learned about Tata philosophy, about trust, ethics, and long-time client commitment. The outcome, high employee retention in an industry where attrition is the norm, seamless client experience no matter where the team was based, and a culture so strong it became a competitive advantage. The TCS story reminds us that the McKinsey 7S framework staff is more than number on a payroll. It's about building a team that align your vision, then empowering them to grow with it. Because when your people reflect your purpose, your culture doesn't survive, it scales.
In the early 2000s, IBM found itself a turning point. Once a big name in the tech world, the company was facing serious challenge. New technology were growing fast, and the business world was changing quickly. Its strong position was strong to sleep. Instead of choosing the easy way of cutting jobs to save money, IBM made a brave choice rather than letting people go. Then decided to invest in the helping their employees learn new skills for the future. IBM a reskilling program was not just to keep people busy. It was a smart change. Thousands of workers from all parts of the company got the chance to learn new things in fast growing areas like artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and cyber security. But the company didn't stop at just teaching new tools. IBM wanted to prepare its employees for what was coming next in the tech words by giving them the right skills and supports. The, the company helped them not just survive, what do well in these new areas. This one was not just turning for the sake of it. IBM made sure that the skills match the company's new goals. As the world moved towards AI, the cloud, and rising digital threats, IBM made sure it was ready to lead the way and what happened next because they chose to grow their peoples instead of cutting them. IBM found new energy. The company did not just keep up with the tech chance tech chance, it became an important part of them. IBM had transformed itself. Its workers were no longer stuck in old rules or behind in skill. They were now ready to new things and lead in fast changing fields. IBM focus on its people help their company stay strong and stay behind. To, Today, IBM is seen as a top company in AI, cloud computing, and cybersecurity. Its success didn't come just from new technology. It's come from helping the people who create and run the technology. What what's the lesson in a words? What change fast? The future belongs belongs to companies. They grow their people's skill, lead to new ideas, and learning again and again. People's company stay strong on matter how much towards change.
We hope that you have now a deep understanding of McKinsey's 7S framework, how it play out in real company. Keep aligning, keep growing, and keep leading smart. Thank you.